Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening. Hundreds of Tasmanians have paused and paid their respects to those who fought for our country at Remembrance Day ceremonies across the state. The lives of fallen soldiers and those who returned commemorated with a minute's silence this morning.
Standing as one on the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month. The silence a sign of respect for all who fought for our country. So too the last post. Wreaths laid, poems read and prayers recited at Remembrance Day services across the state.
Myself and a couple of other of my friends, we pop it along every year and won't miss it.
I celebrate the fact that my son was returned safely from Afghanistan. And I respect all those that have served, and particularly those who didn't come back.
Others using the day to think of those still engaged in conflict.
It's really important for us to remember that we have Australian soldiers overseas who are trying to support our way of life and bring peace. 15,000 Tasmanians fought in World War I, which ended 105 years ago today. 1 in 5 lost their lives. RSL members touched by strong turnouts in both Hobart.
I think it shows respect to veterans and the sacrifices that we do make to defend our countries.
And Launceston.
Our school kids that responded were up 50% on last year. So, and if you just looked around, kids everywhere, and it was bloody fantastic.
The fallen never forgotten. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
In breaking news, emergency services are searching for a missing swimmer in the Somerset area. Police say shortly after 2 this afternoon, a female in her 20s was observed to be in difficulty in strong currents. Water vessels and the Westpac rescue helicopter are currently in the area. Felix Ellis is going back to the drawing board on his controversial fire levy. Ditching his 2 proposed funding models, the Fire Minister says a new working group will be established.
We're really committed to making sure that we deliver this reform, and what we've heard from stakeholders right across the community is the need for it.
The reality is we are going to have to find a way to have a fair model, but a model that puts the brunt of it all onto regional homeowners, regional communities and farmers is never going to be acceptable.
Community consultation on the proposed bill for fire and emergency service reform remains open until December 1. A northern beef farmer has been crowned Tasmanian's Australian of the Year for 2024. Stephanie Trethrui has spent the past 5 years working to support and connect rural mothers struggling with isolation. Colony 47's founder Jim Colville, Tassie Mums founder Claire Harris and Indigenous actor Nara also collected accolades at a ceremony last night. They'll join the recipients from other states and territories for the national awards next year. A Launceston nurse has been recognised for her team's efforts to get more patients recovering in their homes and free up hospital beds. Stacey Higgins collected the Innovation Award at the Tasmanian Public Sector Nurses and Midwifery Excellence Awards held last night.
We've been able to expand our scope of practice so that we can help more people in the community and we can try and keep our patients out of hospital longer.
Nurses and midwives from across the state were honoured. Pro-salmon farming advocates are warning the federal government not to cave in to environmental groups over salmon farming in Macquarie Harbour. Accusing them of environmental lawfare, Senator Jonathan Duniam and Salmon Tasmania says Minister Tanya Plibersek should be listening to local communities.
It's a big leap to make any substantial decisions around a reduction in the aquaculture in the harbour. Based on what we think is pretty incomplete science.
She needs to heed the warning now, learn from the lessons of the past, back in and ensure this industry is successful into the future.
Tanya Plibersek wrote to the Premier earlier this week expressing concerns about oxygen levels and water quality, saying urgent action is needed. Being ready to protect the state from fires takes preparation and training, but that doesn't have to be all hard work. Tasmania's volunteer brigades finding a competitive and fun way to brush up on their skills.
In a bushfire emergency, seconds count. And if it's your property under threat, you probably want these volunteers in your corner. At the annual Fire Brigades Championships, it's station versus station.
It's a bit of a build-up to this time of year. There was always a bit of camaraderie between the north and the south.
Putting their skills to the test under race conditions.
Some teams take it very seriously, but yeah, they get used to being trained in the right way, and they're a real benefit on the fire ground.
Today's a whole lot of fun for everybody involved, but brushing up on skills as simple as hose rolling translates to real-world benefits for the community.
Making sure that we're able to use the pumps that are fitted to our fire trucks and also portable pumps, testing our skills at bowling and rolling hoses and handling branches, making sure that we can put our fires out as efficiently and safely as possible.
Kids as young as 10 can get involved with a brigade.
There was a fire at our school, and so we asked one of the firefighters if there are any stations we could join.
It's pretty fun going out and looking at maps and kind of identifying areas and learning about different types of fires and how to put them out.
These juniors finishing 1 second shy of a record.
In real life situation, it would be like pumping out of a dam, getting it to the truck and then getting it to the firefighters who would then go fight the fire.
Excellent preparation as bushfire season sets in.
It's really nice to see a familiar face on the fire ground. It's somebody that you've met at the competitions track, and you have some faith that your colleagues are highly skilled and they know what they're doing.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmanian News.
A bloke's bake-off and pet lamb fashion parade were some of the draw cards, attracting a huge crowd to today's Westbury Show. From old engines to sideshow alley favourites, floral arrangements and edible art, there was something to please everyone. Taji, the poodle, winning over the crowd in the dog high jump, managing a 1.5 metre leap.
His training was jumping my fence that I especially made for him to keep him in the yard, and he went, challenge accepted.
It's a milestone year for Westbury. Today marked the 160th show as the town prepares for its 200th anniversary. Hundreds of Tasmanian tots had the time of their lives this morning as the Wiggles kick-started its Australian Wiggly Big Day Out tour in Hobart. Children and parents were up on their feet, enjoying some of the classic hits from Fruit Salad to Rockabye Your Bear. After getting their season back on track against the Bullets and with a freshly cleared injury list, the Jack Jumpers go looking for a win in Adelaide tonight. The 36ers, who sit in 8th place, haven't been ahead at half-time so far this season, but Tasmania coach Scott Roth has warned his side they need to step up defensively. Tip-off is just over an hour away. Tasmania's Marsh Cup campaign is all but over after being soundly defeated by Victoria at Utah's stadium. Despite a dashing 47 from Bo Webster, the Tigers' top order failed to fire. Victoria cruising to a bonus point win.
Batting first, the Tigers were looking for quick runs. Instead, they were a wicket down early on.
There's a big shout, and he's given it. Jules got to go.
Matthew Wade started the game on the front foot. Charlie Wakeham made 8 before falling to a classic catch.
Wakeham down the wicket and drives this one high. There's a man out there. It'll be a good catch. Tell you what.
Jordan Silk added just a run, and when Wade fell for 21, the Tigers were 4 for just 42. Mac Wright and Bo Webster stabilised the innings with a 54-run partnership. Wright reached 34 before skying one and finding a fielder. Webster fell short of a half half-century.
So there's a feather from Webster and he's gone. That's a real blow.
The tail unable to wag, all out for just 156. Victoria's Chase stumbled early, Tom Rogers dismissing his namesake for 7. Matt Short, however, was keen to score a bonus point.
Stanlake, and that short. Oh, that was almost a chance.
Billy Stanlake bowled Marcus Harris for 21. Pina Hanscom made 17 before some magic from Paddy Dooley in the deep removed him. Dooley then spun out Hanscom's replacement, giving the Tigers faint hope. But Matt Short and Jonathan Merlo teamed up to steer Victoria to victory.
There's a bit of a misfield, and that's going to run down to the rope for 4.
The Vics home inside 36 overs. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hobart Hurricanes' WBBL finals chances have suffered a blow going down to the Sydney Sixers last night. Opening the batting, the Canes had the Sixers at 6 for 114, but a quick-fire 35 from Susie Bates helped them set a target of 167. In reply, Hobart's openers both fell cheaply early in the chase.
There's an edge, bottom edge, out!
Naomi Stellenberg top scored with a fighting 36, but she was one of just 2 batters to pass 10. The Hurricanes all out for 109, losing by 57 runs. Matthew Greenwood retains the yellow tonight after stage 3 in the Tour of Tasmania, despite crossing second today. In the women's, Mackenzie Copeland also hangs on to her yellow jersey after the infamously arduous Gun Plains Loop. And Tasmanian horse The Inevitable was beaten but not disgraced in the Group 1 Champions Mile at Flemington. The horse battled hard but couldn't overcome a star-studded field, finishing 5th in the race.
Good evening. There were areas of sea fog this morning, mostly about the west, which cleared during the afternoon. A moderate number of storms fired up over the north and a few isolated storms were over the far southwest. Today, Hobart 21, Launceston 27, Devonport 23, Burnie 21. Further out, the state's top was recorded at Friendly Beaches with 29, Flinders Island and St Helens 27, Low Head and Bushy Park 20, Maria Island and Grove 18, King Island, Luncheon Hill and Strawn all 17, Lyweenie 15 degrees. The satellite shows decreasing low-level cloud over the west and south, sunny conditions elsewhere except for a low-level cloud band moving towards the east coast with patches of high-level cloud over the northeast. Extensive areas of thunderstorms lie over central WA and most of the territory. Convective cloud sits over most of the tropics. Tomorrow, a low lies over the Pilbara in WA with a connected trough extending near Darwin. Another trough runs from southwestern Queensland to southeastern New South Wales as a high-pressure ridge extends along the southern coastline of the mainland. West to northwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots about the east, reaching up to 35 knots about the south and also about the northeast in the afternoon. West to southwesterly swells in the west and south increasing to 3 to 4 metres, although building to 4 to 5 metres in the afternoon. Tomorrow, a gale warning has been issued for Bank Strait and Franklin Sound, the southeast coast and the southwest coast. A strong wind warning is also in place for coastal waters between Low Rocky Point to St Helens Point and also for the lower east coast and central west coast to include Storm Bay and the Channel. Forecast for Sunday, Hobart, a possible shower 16, cloudy in Richmond 18, showers in Ouse 15 degrees. Launceston partly cloudy 21, becoming windy and partly cloudy in Devonport 18, also partly cloudy in Deloraine 17. Windy and cloudy conditions in Burnie and Curry 15, showers increasing in Strawn 14's the top. St Helens partly cloudy 22, partly cloudy and 20 in Swansea, becoming windy in Whitemark with 17. Forecast for Monday, fine apart from light showers about the west. Tuesday, showers about the west and south easing during the morning. Showers developing about the north east during the afternoon, otherwise fine conditions elsewhere. Wednesday, showers about the northeast extending to the west in the evening. Further north tomorrow, Broome, mostly sunny 32, similar conditions in Sydney 28, partly cloudy in Adelaide 23, much the same for Melbourne 19, although warming up in Canberra tomorrow, they're chasing 31 degrees. Current conditions at the moment, Hobart sunny 15, much the same in Launceston 20 and also sunny and 18 in Devonport. That's all from me in weather, Louise, for this Remembrance Day.
And that's all your news for this Saturday. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening. Good night.